Thanks for taking the time to come to the Business Builder webinar today. I'll be walking you through kind of just our thought process and how we do things at Capex and a little bit more about myself. I'm a CPA who doesn't play by accounting industry norms. We use cutting edge technology that allows us to provide a lot of efficiencies to our clients, which improves their business processes, generates cost savings. We provide a lot of help and support to our clients and help our clients grow. Um, how do we do that? So let's kind of dive into that. Um, Growing your business as you help your clients grow should come automatically. And what does that mean? Like, as you're doing their business dealings and as you're working with them, this should be happening all the time. Business owners are always running around posting things on social media, spending money on paid media, spending hours standing in trade shows, a whole bunch of things, even newspapers, TV, all that, just to land a client. But when many entrepreneurs have found themselves burning out with so much work, they're putting in so much work, trying to grow their business that they miss the greatest asset they already have, which is their existing clients. So you're spending all this time and effort on getting new clients through the door, but what do you really do when you have those clients? Um, what do I mean? So many business owners are simply working just single-use transactions with their clients. So hey, we'll do your corporate taxes, we'll do your personal taxes, we'll do your bookkeeping, we'll do your HST return, we'll do X, Y, Z, and that's just a one-time transaction. And now the client is like, oh, okay, that's fine. I guess we'll just do that. Um, the business owners spend all this money and time and the effort to get them inside the door, and then all they do is just sell this one-time thing. Um, there's a missed opportunity here. You see, your existing clients have already been paid for. You've already wined and dined them. You've been able to kind of successfully be able to tell them, hey, you can trust me. And building trust is very difficult. And once you have that, you should be cashing in on that collateral that you have built. Um, this is where the relationship can turn into a beautiful cycle of referrals. Um, but it doesn't always happen this way automatically. It's true. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Um, wouldn't you like to enter into a predetermined deal with a client before you sign with anything? Sounds like a good deal. And if you think about it, like if all you're getting is money from a client, you are doing something wrong. You should be trying to add more value and keep striving to add more and more value. How do you do this? We have a lot of skills as accounting professionals. So it could be accountants, bookkeepers, CPAs, non-CPAs, whatever it is. If you're an accounting professional, you already have some level of knowledge that the client is willing to pay for. Um, One of the reasons people keep coming to you is you might have a higher standard or a higher quality than other people are providing. And why not share that knowledge with your clients? Um, do you provide great follow-up care, advice on caring for the client or a new product or a new service that you're offering? Um, Perhaps you can advise the client on different things because you're seeing so many different client files and so many different client base. You're learning about new businesses all the time. So accountants can make very good business people if they just take the time to understand, oh, okay, this is how the business did. This is how we can help. Let's just talk about an A&W. You worked on an A&W client and then there's 10 different franchises. Now you can add more value. Like, I know how A&W does it, and this is how, KFC does it. Now you're able to kind of add more value to the client because they would have to go and buy a KFC to understand what A&W does. But you as an accountant have knowledge that they really want. If you can tap into that, you can really add a lot more value than just doing compliance work. The three questions that come to mind is when a client chooses you, what do they need from you? What kind of service or product are they looking for? Why do they need it from you? And what do they need after they have your service or product? So these three questions, when carefully thought out, will keep your client's business growing at all times. You're managing the entire cycle of the client. And you need to, the way we look at things is you need to build out great relationships with clients. Trust is the new gold. Um, I like to say that we're not in the accounting business, we're in the trust business. Um, if you Accountants are trusted vastly by business owners, and while trust has always been the currency of business, These days, it's an absolute like a premium. It's very difficult to find someone that you can trust online. There's online scammers, there's email spammers, there's privacy hackers, there's fake social media accounts, all out there. If you're using the internet for business, you need to look real to people. The clients need to be like, yeah, this is a real person. Um, Potential shoppers spend less than 6 seconds on your website. You have 6 seconds to, that's about the attention span of a goldfish. So you really have 6 seconds to catch their attention if they're on your website. So your website has to be straight to the point, um, not too much reading involved. It can be a different blog area. So just developing a really good website would be great. And consistency. Consistency is where everything comes down to. You don't want to start a blogging page where you write a blog one time every 6 months. You want to do like something like content is everything. And Gary Vee is something that we really look at. Content, keep throwing your content. Might have grammar mistakes, it might have errors. It doesn't matter. Like if you're trying to get to perfection, you're not going to have as much content. So content marketing is the way to do it, and kind of just telling your ecosystem of clients and potential prospective clients that, hey, we are experts in this industry, in this area, and we do this work really well, and if you have this problem, we can potentially solve it for you. That's how trust goes to be built. Um, when I look at things, one of the things I really deeply believe in is that if you take the time to build the trust in genuine relationships, and you don't just care about clients because they pay you, you care about them because you love what you do and you want them to enjoy the benefits of your knowledge like you do, then that's the perfect reason to get up every morning and go help your clients and be able to generate revenue and build your firm and do all of that. Um, let's just take a typical example. How does trust and relationships work? So if I told you, hey, John Doe, do you have a good mechanic that you might know? Um, your go-to answer might be like, yeah, just use my guy. What exactly happened in that transaction? John Doe really trusts his mechanic, and he provides that referral to me, and I can go to that mechanic because he trusts him. I trust him. Google has replaced that. Google reviews and all of that kind of stuff has really reviewed, like, has kind of taken out the middleman, and clients and potential prospective clients look at all of these things, and they look at your social media, they look at your website. You see, are you an actual business? We've actually never met a lot of our clients. They've done business over electronically with us, and we're able to kind of propel that trust with them to saying, hey, your data belongs to you. We will never kind of hold your data hostage. If you want to leave, that's our firm. That's not a problem. We would just pack up your file. Here you go. All of our plans are month to month. So we want to tell clients, like, we want to earn your business every single month. If you don't, for whatever reason, funding's low or changing businesses and you want to cancel your plans, we have a very open-ended policy where, hey, no problem. By doing just that small change, clients have stuck around with us for years. They know they can leave. They know they can go to another firm. They know they can do this, and but they won't get the same system and support and uh, all of the systems that we have built, the staff that we've built, the team that we've been able to build, making sure that the client has a seamless experience is very difficult to do in accounting. So let me just talk to you about a typical example. Like if you go to buy shoes, um, you might go buy shoes, and your wife or your husband might say, "Hey, why don't you try XYZ shop?" And I had a really good experience there. Now, when you get to the shoe shop, there's an assistant there. He's going to help you with different types of shoes that you want to decide on. Um, that by the time you're at the shop, you've already made your mind on making this purchase. If you kind of understand that you don't have to do sales all the time. If you build your business around support, the sales automatically just keep coming in. This shoe business has great support. Like someone referred them, they had an assistant there answering all of their questions within a couple minutes, and now there's an opportunity for that same shoe salesperson, to upsell me on a different shoe size or a different shoe brand or a different XYZ product. that all comes down to what trust that business has built. Um, Another way you can kind of build trust is providing a splinter service. So a splinter service is something very small. Generally, it doesn't cost that much money to the business, and you can use it to kind of upsell, or you can add more value to the business owner. One of the things we do is we use receipt bank Dext, and when a prospective client kind of comes to us, but they're really new in their business and they don't understand exactly what needs to be done, we send them a Dext account or a receipt bank account directly to their email. Be like, hey, look, this is completely free to you. Our firm's going to pay for it. We want to invest in you. And what we're going to do is, you're not ready for the services that we have right now, but what we can do is we can just send you this, just take pictures of all your receipts. And at the end of the year, we'll look at everything and we'll help you with your tax filings and your compliance work and all of that. Now, by just sending something over to the client where they were expecting nothing, um, we've made that investment into that client. And yes, we are paying a monthly fee for that. But when the prospective client, when they have to choose an accounting firm, are they going to go to someone that gave them a technology stack, or are they going to go to someone that gave them nothing for a price differential? And that happens to us all the time. Some prospective clients go to someone else because they're offering a lower price. We don't compete on price, we compete on value, and we value price everyone. When it comes time to offering a splinter service, I would recommend doing something very small, something that you can sustain over the long term. It gives a client a taste of what kind of what do they expect if they were to become a Capex client. Something as simple as like, hey, what's on your checklist, and make sure this is all done. They right off the bat, the client knows, okay, we use Calendly for phone calls, we use Zoom for video conferencing, we use Carbon for making sure that follow-ups are done with the clients. Nothing gets missed. Clients understand, hey, this is a very professional firm. We should be able to work with them, get all of our tasks completed in a very seamless setting. And we try to be as clear and concise as possible. Building up the business around support will help build trust. If trust is there, then you have a long standing relationship with the client. A client can pay you, like, a big lump sum at the once a year or monthly or whatever it is. But if you compound that if you can sustain that relationship over 15, 20 years, now you can really see the value of that one client. And that's where I'm really kind of heading here, where you really want to provide more value and constantly keep adding more and more value than what you are getting paid for. And the kind of emails I get from clients now is like, hey, Jag, as my business grows, I want to pay you guys more. And that's something that I don't think many accounting firm owners can really say, hey, my clients reach out to me and say, as our business is growing, we want to keep you guys, we want to be able to kind of grow with you and do that. I think it's awesome. It's a really great way of doing it. And where we really thrive in is our mindset. Our mindset is built on a manufacturing concept that Toyota actually made. It's called the Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is like continuous improvement. It's a concept where you're continuously trying to improve, and if in order for this process to work and this mindset to work, you have to fundamentally love to solve problems or love problems. Any problem that comes on your table, you want to be able to say, okay, I might not know the answer to this, but I can research it and figure it out, and I'll get you the answer. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but learning to love problems is half the battle. Like, if you can understand, hey, this is a problem, I need to find solutions, and I need to constantly keep improving this process to the point where it makes it easier for the business owner, it makes it easier for us, it makes it easier for our staff. Everyone's happy. And you know what? A platform like QuickBooks Online is great for something like that. It really helps to propel our business forward. Um, when you accept the fact that there will be problems to overcome, you end up in a mindset of continuous improvement. Your mindset of excellence. You must be obsessed with the daily problems that your clients are facing and how can you help them. And you want to be that person that's always trying to help them. If you can get a hold of this mindset, then you never have to fear competition. Like, when coronavirus hit, it was no one had expected that. but we didn't have much attrition apart from clients that were directly impacted and that they closed their businesses down. Our clients stick it out with us. That's loyalty. There's other accounting firms that have reached out to our clients and said, hey, we'll charge you less, but they don't want to go because there's more value that we bring to the table as compared to other firms that are pricing lower to get that business. Pricing lower and lower only is like it's a race to the bottom. No one's gonna win that game. You want to kind of work with a select few clients that you think that are going to be scalable and you're going to be able to grow with them, and you'll be able to build trust with them. Our business is built on relationships, and um, focusing on the Six Sigma mindset is really important. There's a lot of waste areas that you can kind of like defects or overproduction or waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, extra processing. Like these are areas that can be cut down, make your business more and more efficient over time. And as a client sticks with you for year 2, year 3, year 5, year 10, that client, in theory, should become more and more profitable as the years go on. So in our mind, we look at it like, oh, we landed this client, great, it's an exciting opportunity, we'll be able to work with them. We want to be able to be so efficient to the point that that client is getting profitable for the firm, that client's loving us, and there's no such thing as competition for us at that point because we're not competing with them. We're just trying to service this client to the best of our ability. Um, so that being said, like we should always be in a state of continuous improvement, looking at areas of improvement. Like small things make a big impactful difference. Like when we turned on QuickBooks monthly reports being sent to clients, the feedback we got was, hey, I'm able to kind of see quickly a profit and loss statement and a profit and loss statement by month, just the profit and loss statement, not the balance, just very simplistic monthly statement that's sent to the client. And they say, oh, okay, on the 30th of the month, I'm getting a statement. It's sent directly from QuickBooks, so they know it's a secure email that's been sent from the within the Capex team and the QuickBooks team. um, the client really enjoys the benefits of that knowledge. Us being able to use technology and accounting and leveraging both of them to solve a problem is exponential growth more than anything. None of this 1 + 1 = 2. We're trying to do something where it's 1 + 1 = 250. And that's because if you have one really well thought out solution, that can solve 250 hours can be saved, 250 new customers can be landed, $250 can be put into your pocket. If you realize that the knowledge and the power and all that stuff that you have, that you already have, you just want to be able to kind of tweak that and market it in such a way where you're like, hey, I'm able to do X, Y, Z things, and this is what I'm really good at, and I can really add value. Um, a good exercise that we've done in the past has been literally we've taken a Word document or anything that just you can write on, and we wrote down 10 things that CapEx is really good at, and we focused on only the top 5. And we're like, hey, look, we might be great at rollovers and complex tax planning and all of that, but we're really good at these 5, 7 things over here, and we want to really focus on helping these type of clients grow. So e-commerce is something that we're really good at. Doing Amazon accounting, Shopify accounting, understanding technology companies. um, I think if you kind of build out a real great niche there, and understand the value that you will be generating for these clients over the long term, and you have a long-term mindset, that will be very beneficial. I believe Amazon's Jeff Bezos says that he plans uh, 1 quarter, 3 years in advance. So if you do think of the planning aspect of it, the quarter that you're seeing currently for Amazon was planned 3 years in advance by Jeff Bezos, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, if a client you have now landed, if you kind of help them plan out the next 3 to 5 years of where their trajectory is going to be, how the planning is going to take place, what work's going to be completed, and how we can actually help them save money, and grow with their business, it's a win-win situation. And you want to be in uh, ideally, you want to be in a win-win situation. So the key things that I would like to think about is learn to love problems. Problems are always going to be there. And as accountants and professionals and accounting professionals, um, we are trained to solve problems. That's what we do. We try to find solutions that are economical to clients. Um, Sometimes we might come up with three different solutions for a client, but all three solutions are not economical. And we have to go back to the whiteboard to understand what can we do. And sometimes what we end up doing is we just develop it in-house, like with simple Excel. So a good example would be a client for real estate came to us and said, hey, Jag, we need a simple way of analyzing what the mortgage amortization calculation is going to be. We looked at a few software houses that can handle that. The client was like, hey, if you guys I just want to look at it for analytic purposes, I'm not really going to be making decisions off of that. Um, so we kind of just whipped something together really quickly and sent that over to the client, like, hey, let us know what you think. That's great value because now the client doesn't need us to run these calculations, and we just provided them with a customized calculator for their particular purpose. That builds long-term trust with the client. It lets them know that if we can't find the right solution, we will create the solution. And the reason we're able to create the solution is because we have the knowledge to do it. We understand the end result. We understand how to get the beginning pieces of the puzzle together, and how to execute effectively. Um, it's very difficult running a accounting business or any type of business. There's problems in every business, and if you learn to love the problems and build trust with your clients, you can grow with any business. It's and having the Six Sigma mindset that you're going to constantly keep improving over the long term, and letting clients know from the get go when they meet you that this is what your mindset is, this is what you want to do. It really helps. We get clients all the time like, hey, Jag, I don't like the way you guys do things, and that's okay. There's people that like certain music and people that don't like certain music. Um, we can't cater to everyone, but we do know the clients that do work with us and understand how to operate. They love it. They love the business. The way they love the way we do things, and it if we can just service those particular clients that love our music and how we operate, I think we've done I think we've done a great job there. And it's important to kind of be in a position where when you're kind of telling the client, saying, hey, look, this is what we do, and be very transparent and very clear to them, like, this is what we're trying to believe in here. We want to add more value to you. We don't want to be yes men to you. We want to be your right hand person sitting in the finance department, and you're getting a complete finance department that's going to help you with every issue that comes into the finance realm of things. If you're looking at making a deal for them and you need some mortgage help, they call us and email us, and we try to help them as much as we can. If we don't know how to do something, we have no problem telling the client we don't know how to do this, but we have someone that's doing some research, and we're research driven. Our entire firm is completely research driven. A great example is cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, is a very new field, and the accounting behind it, there's no precedence, and the CRA's released a lot of details on how to deal with it. But being able to have a client that came to us said, hey, this is this industry, this is the industry we're in, and I'm like, hey, we haven't really seen so many clients of this, but we'll research it and we'll look into it and we'll try to help you. Just having that mindset of that we will try to help you as much as we can really helps to build trust and helps to be in that position where, hey, do you need an accountant? Yeah, you guys can call Capex, and they'll be able to help you as much as we can. So that's uh, that's my thought process. I think one of the key things to remember is the key to success is to start before you are ready. And it's a great quote by Mary Forleo. And sometimes you not might not be ready, but it's better to make one move today and have that compound over the long term, and try to build that trust with your existing client base today. Um, and then there's a great time to ask for referrals. It's not every time; it's when you've done a great job. Like, hey, we developed that customized Excel solution for that client. That solved a real problem for them. And if that's a great time, like, hey, everyone's in a happy mood, like, hey, if you have any clients looking, we're trying to grow, let us know. it's very subtle. It's very, it lets you understand, hey, we're not like, we're trying to grow, but we're not trying to say, hey, we want to let go of our existing clients and then go for a higher paying client. We've never made any client feel that way. In fact, we don't even increase fees on clients. And that's because we've become cognizant of the fact that we can become more and more efficient each year, and we can maintain our margins and still be profitable as a company. And clients love it, and they want to stick to us, and they have a great, we've been able to build a great membership system. With Capex, one of the things that we have is consistency. So we release new blogs every single week. And it's very important to me to make sure that those blogs are written well, they're concise, they're not long paragraphs on the end. We release commentary on budgets. We send out flash reports whenever there's a huge change in the government, and business owners need to know. Another thing that we really look at is we only work with small business owners. We don't take on any clients that are apart from small business owners, and we only like to work with those particular clients because we can spend so much time on, and there's so many hours in a week that we can allocate towards certain efforts, and we want to put our efforts into places where we'll be able to have a more impactful difference. And that's what it comes down to. Like, we want to add a lot more value than the money that we are receiving, and we are not looking at, hey, we received X amount today, but we're looking at more like, what are we going to receive in year 2, year 3, year 5, year 7, year 8? And over a period of time, the client's files become more and more efficient. They become more profitable, and it's a win-win situation from all ends. So that being said, if there's any questions, I would love to take some questions, and we could take it from there.
Awesome. Hi, Jag.
Hey.
We actually do have a few questions. So firstly, Steve would love to know if you could discuss value pricing a little bit more, and maybe how you approach value pricing, how you use it.
Yeah, that's a quite a great question. Everyone has their take on this. There's an author named Ron Baker, right? He has a book called How to Do Value Pricing. He has a good take on it too. I think you have to look at it from the perspective of, when a client comes to you, they have certain budgets in mind, and you want to be able to say, hey, can we take on this client? How much value can we add? Maybe we can get them on the compliance on a monthly plan, and once they're on our monthly plan, we might be able to find certain areas like, hey, look, we can add a lot more value here. We practice a lot of tax, so I'll give you an example. We had a client, we did their corporate tax return, and then while doing the corporate tax return, we realized that, hey, this company is in a complete loss position. The client's telling me to close the company down, but I'm like, hey, there's an $83,000 potential tax savings that's sitting here that we can generate. Do you want me to still close it down, or do you want to like talk about this and how we can add more value? We told the clients, we're gonna bill you X amount for this service, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. That was us adding value above and beyond the corporate tax return filing. And the client is probably not going to go to another firm because we understand we understand the client, we understand the files, we understand all of that stuff that needs to be done. But that was us adding value, and we're now value pricing that client on that project that needs to be worked on. Every client gets priced differently. There's no cookie cut prices. We look at transactional volume. We look at what kind of industry the client's in, how complex is their accounting, what kind of transactional volume they have. We look at the last 3 months to 4 months of bank statements and credit card statements, just to understand transactional volume. And to be honest, we say no to a lot more clients, or a lot more prospective clients that come to us than we say yes to clients. To become a Capex client, it's quite the process. But once you're in, it's very easy for a client to keep us on going there. So I hope that was helpful there.
Awesome. Randy was hoping you could just quickly touch upon the apps and technology programs that you use. You mentioned receipt scanning, Carbon. Do you mind just giving us a brief recap on that?
Sure. So what we do is we're a completely cloud-based accounting firm. So We use Receipt Bank for capturing receipt data, like actual physical receipts, or if clients are mostly getting emailed copies of receipts, like from Gmail or Spotify or things of that nature, then we have the clients forward those emails into this one library. Then we have QuickBooks Online, where QuickBooks Online is helping us pull all the bank feeds from the client. So now we have the bank feeds coming in. We never take the client's login and password. That's another way of us telling the client, hey, we don't want your login and password. No one at our firm will ever ask you for your login and password. If it's someone from our firm that sends you an email asking you for your login and password, please email us because it wasn't us. And that builds trust. It allows us to use Receipt Bank to be like, hey, we're going to try to keep you as audit proof as possible. The CRA says, as long as you can produce the documents, they don't care if it's paper copy or if it's receipt scanned copy, in case of an audit. Just reading this questionnaire. And Carbon. Carbon is a work management tool that we use. It's how we run our firm. It's from every small task. When a client sends us something, it becomes a to-do list item. We complete the task. My team can really come in, and when an email or a task needs to be done, it's not just one person that's looking at it. There's 15 people looking at that one question and saying, okay, can I jump in and answer this question? Or whoever was working on that file, we can go at team, whoever was working at this, please provide a comment so we can reply with a concise reply to the client. We use that as a really good tool to make sure that things never get missed. I hope that answers your question. There's a lot of technology that we use at Capex.
What is your ideal customer flow for Capex, from the engagement letter to the end service?
Ideal customer. Okay. Ideal customer is someone that understands what we're trying to do, right? We are not a traditional accounting firm. We want to be able to give them reporting on a regular basis. We want to be able to give them data in a secure setting. We are a very secure, security-focused firm. And that builds, again, trust for the client. But the ideal flow of our firm is engagement letter gets signed from a client. That task gets into Carbon, right? So we use Practice Ignition for our proposals. And then the task gets sent to Carbon. In Carbon, it gets assigned to a team member. And then once the team member knows, okay, is it whatever the work that needs to be done, so bookkeeping, taxes, corporate taxes, whatever XYZ engagement was. And then there's a follow-up system. We have templates in place that's saying, hey, what was the total expenses that came in from that, and we classify things in such a way that's very clear for the client to understand. So we do a lot of subcategories in going into the depth of it. So if someone was spending money on software, where did they spend the most of the money on software? So adding subcategories to your accounting flow and building that into reporting really ends up adding a lot of value to the end person. What I look at is, how do we look at, if I was a Capex client, how would I want to be treated? And would I want to hire Capex? If you can answer that question, or would you be able to hire your own firm to do your own accounting? And if the answer is yes, then that's great. If the answer is no over a long period of time, then a lot of changes have to be made. Yep.
Is someone's wondering, is it acceptable to ask our clients for referrals?
I don't see why not. If you think about it, if you're adding a lot of value to a client and you can assure that that client's can be serviced well, in addition to another client coming on board, and as you're scaling your business, service levels are not going to go down. As long as you can make sure that that doesn't happen, I don't see any issues with that. Clients, we don't actively ask clients, hey, send us a referral. We don't do that. What we look at is when we've executed on an assignment very well, and we know that we have added value to a client, and we say, hey, just in passing, like, hey, if you have any other people that you're looking for an accounting service, just think of us, right? And the client's like, yeah, sure, no problem, not an issue. Many people haven't had a problem with that we've been getting a lot of referrals, and clients love referring us. Yeah.
Awesome. In terms of project management tools, Carbon versus Asana or other tools, do you have any thoughts if you'd recommend any other?
We used to use Trello, and then Trello is like Asana. It's like a project management tool. We implemented Carbon only because we were trying to consolidate the number of apps we were using. One of the problems in a cloud-based accounting firm is that as you're growing, you're gonna see that, oh, this is the best in class software here. This is the best in class software here. And then you try integrating all of them. But that's just too many apps at this point. And then what ends up happening is the reverse happens where your productivity starts to go down and you're just moving between tabs. So to eliminate this overall issue, we felt Carbon was a really good fit for us because rather than having one Google browser open like with 10 different tabs, we just look at Carbon, which is our to-do list, our emails, our triage, our workflow management system. It's our CRM. We pretty much live within Carbon. And then if there's any questions we have or anything like that, we Slack message each other on the side, which is non-Carbon related. So Carbon versus Asana, you could pretty much pull off everything that you want in Asana. And if you build it up with Zapier, so if you build out Zapier and Asana, you should be able to pull out the same thing that Carbon does, but Carbon just more slick. It's like, I might, I have an opinion on this. I'm more of an iPhone person. So it's like iPhone versus Android, right? So I kind of look at it from that perspective.
Jeff was wondering if you've recently made the switch from HubDoc to Dex.
No, we actually use both. We haven't made a switch at all. We use HubDoc. HubDoc is really great for certain things that Dex and Receipt doesn't do. Bank fetching is one of them. So we really need bank statements and credit card statements because fundamentally, when you're doing a reconciliation in QuickBooks, you need to know what the ending balance was so you can reconcile everything out. If you're just clearing transactions in QuickBooks, you're not going to know what the ending balance was. And HubDoc really helps to pull that bank statement, credit card statements for us. And we know exactly it's a PDF statement. We know what the balance was. We know everything reconciles. That's what helps us build accuracy in all of our reporting.
Awesome. What kind of CRM system do you recommend to track clients, client communications, and deadlines?
CRM systems, we've tried a lot. We tried Insightly, we tried Pipedrive, we tried we tried building one in Trello. Trello is like a Lego box. You can kind of build anything within it. I think we're using Carbon now. And the honest answer is I don't know. Like I don't know what's the best CRM system for accounting firms. And I think it comes down to whatever works for you. People that came before me in the accounting realm of things, partners that were there for 20, 25 years, they use Excel and that worked perfectly fine for them. So I think it comes down to how well will you use the system. We're using Carbon right now. It's working great for us. We put all our contacts in there. We plan all our engagements in there. I'm not a paid sponsor of Carbon. I'm just letting you know I really like the software. I think it's really great.
Awesome. Are you comfortable sharing a problem that you've recently solved? I know you talked a lot about it in the Lean Six Sigma.
Yeah, we solve problems every day. So it's like, which one do you want to talk about? There's issues all the time in any business. It could be a financing issue. It could be, we have great relationships with banks. So what we tell our bankers is like, hey, whatever reports you need for getting this client's financing done, we'll be able to provide you with management reports all year long, whatever you want. We'll provide you with a notice to read our financial statements, which is the signed financials that the clients, bankers need for loan purposes. And I'll give you an example. A client was getting their refinancing done January to April, and the client reached out to us in May, beginning of May. So the bank reached out to me in the May, and they said, hey, we need our statements. So we sent them the statements. Then they're like, hey, Jag, I know it's early in the month. Could you send us January to April? And I was able to run a report in QuickBooks, export it in PDF, send in an email directly to her and say, hey, here's a report. There's a $1,200 minor variance, but it should solve whatever issues you're looking at. That was impactful because the client was able to say, hey, I got everything done. I didn't have to get involved. My banker's happy, whatever they needed. Now the delays on the bank side, not on our side. Usually it's the other way around where accounting firms are trying to struggle to get to that point. So whenever a banker reaches out to us, we solve the problem right away. Our turnaround period for our emailing is about 24 hours or less. It's been, we measure that KPI within the firm just to understand like how long does it take from a client sending us an issue to getting a reply and final mediation. And most issues get resolved within a 24-hour period. And if it doesn't, then we tell clients, hey, it's going to take a few days or a few weeks, and we got to go and do some more research on this. I hope that answered your question.
Awesome. Just a reminder, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Steve wants to know, is Calendly a secure option for scheduling?
If a client's scheduling you for a 15-minute phone call, I don't see what would be wrong with that. We've kind of combined Calendly with Zoom. So definitely the end-to-end encryption is there. Calendly just kind of solves the reception problem for us, which is like, we kind of provide a link to the client, they book a phone call with us, and we come, that booking a phone call piece and making sure that meeting's gonna happen, Calendly does a really good job on making sure that that goes through. In terms of security, is it a secure option for scheduling? I don't see in which area it would not be secure, because if it's available on your website, you're providing them with trust, you're trying to tell clients, hey, or prospective people, like if you book a call with us, someone will show up. We're a real company, and we're trying to be very transparent. So there is a fine line between transparency and security, and I understand that question there. But if you go into Calendly and someone tries to kind of spam us with booking phone calls, that's not going to happen, because Calendly will say, are you a robot? Or, are you a real human? And our incremental meetings are all 15 minutes. So it's not someone's going to sit there and just book calls with us. And that hasn't happened yet. Yep.
Do you track your time with a specific program, or do you bill flat rate?
We bill value rate. So there's a difference. Flat rate would mean we're going to charge you $300 an hour, $300 a month for X amount of time. Tracking time and billing time would be like, we're going to charge you $250 an hour, $300 an hour for X amount of time. We bill based on value pricing to client. What do we think? What kind of value can we generate for the client? And what we do is we kind of mix value pricing with fixed fee pricing. So if the client, we think that it's going to be, this is how much value we can generate, we divide that by 12, and then we charge the client X amount every single month for the 12 months. And we tell them that, hey, this is how much the cost is going to be for having our services.
Do you think it's a sound practice to increase pricing on a yearly basis to keep up with inflation?
Well, see, that's a very interesting question. Inflation was non-existent before 2020 and before the pandemic. So our business model was really built on the fact that there relatively wouldn't be as much inflation. I've been watching inflation as well, and I've been seeing that a lot of things are becoming more and more expensive. So yeah, I don't see an issue with doing a yearly increase on keeping it pace with inflation. But you should really be looking at the value that you're providing. Inflation is one thing. If the value that you're generating, for example, going back to that tax client, we're trying to save them like 80 something thousand dollars. Even if we build a client $5,000 or $10,000 for that particular thing, the client still walks out with $70,000, right, in savings that they would have not received. So if you look at it from that perspective, the value pricing is far more superior strategy than tying it to inflation. I'm not sure how long inflation is going to last, but it's really something that's uncontrollable, and I'm following up. I'm following that issue very closely as well.
Do you have a system that you use to track time to respond to emails?
No, we have a internal policy instead, which is all emails sent to the firm must be replied the same day, or reply to the client saying you're looking into it and you will get back to them immediately or as soon as you can. So we try to aim to hit inbox zero every single day. It's complicated to do, but it's really great for the client because, hey, if you send an email 8 hours ago and you receive a reply with a resolution, that's great support. We believe in providing superior support to our clients, and we do monitor the time it takes for the time that email hit our account and it went through. So it's funny story. Our email server went down for two hours just like a month ago, and I had sent out an email to clients saying, hey, between this time, between 10 to 12 on this date, we did not receive any emails. So if you sent out any emails to us, we did not receive this, please send it again, right? It did two things. One, the clients understood like, hey, if our server goes down for even 2 hours, we will reach out to them like, we don't have visibility for technical reasons. We never received this. It also helps to build trust because they know that Jag or his team or someone on our team will get back to them on the issue. It builds precedence, it builds trust. So I think if you look at it from a KPI standpoint, Carbon does a really good job on kind of telling you what you're emailing across the firm and how the support levels are looking.
Great. So there's a few questions, and maybe I'll just try to summarize them into one. But so we understand that you use value pricing, but do you still track time to determine your project return?
We do use T-sheets, right, or QuickBooks Time. And what we use it for is not to track our employees, but to track for analytic purposes to understand, are we even billing our clients correctly or not? And there's circumstances where we might have overshot the bill, and then we've gone back to the client saying, hey, we need to reduce your bill because we didn't price you right. And the opposite is also true, where if we are doing a lot more work, we tell the clients like, hey, we're doing a lot more work than we anticipated, and we need to adjust your price. So it works both ways. We turn the lever this way or that way. So I think pricing isn't really if a client comes to us, pricing is one of the least worries. They want to make sure that they have someone that's going to solve their problem. So we're never competing on price. We're competing on value. And a lot of the times clients aren't really discussing, hey, what's your, like, can we get a lower price? Like, that's not really our clientele. Someone that's asking for that is generally looking for they're on a budget. They want to make sure that they hit this budget, and that's what's on their mind. But if that's what's on their mind, then they're typically not a good CapEx client for us because we want to help them grow. And in order to grow, you need to spend a lot of cash to do that.
All right, so maybe we'll end it off with this question. But Jag, what do you think is the most critical thing to grow a firm if you could only do a few things to start off with?
I think on a quarterly basis, I would set up a phone call with all of my existing client base and ask them a very simple question on, is there something I can help you with? And if there is, please let me know how I can help. Or an email, or just kind of reaching out and saying, hey, just letting you know, we're providing more support now. Like we have certain things, like for example, on our website, we have 24/7 chat support. You can call our firm at 2 a.m. in the morning and someone will pick up the phone. That's how much we believe in support. And that ties into sales. So if there's certain areas I would look at, I would say, forget about everything else, just focus on support, right? Over a period of time, if you just kind of focus on support, train your staff, build a solid firm from there, the clients will come. There's always someone willing to pay someone to make sure that they get the job done right, versus for someone that's going to get the job done fast and incorrectly, and that's going to cost them a lot more money. I see those cases like all the time. So I would just focus on support.
All right. Thank you so much, Jag, and thank you everyone for joining us for today's Business Builder webinar. Have a wonderful day.
Great. Thank you.